in this video, I'm just going to say, no, millennials are not the worst generation. Everybody's always bitching and moaning and groaning about millennials this, millennials that. Well, who are their parents? You know, you got Generation X, which is my generation. You got the baby boomers. So you can't really just blame the millennials. When you coddle a child, keep them away from the world, don't let them, you know, they get a trophy whether they win or lose. You give them a hug when they get hurt instead of letting them deal with it, you know, stuff like that. You know, what do you think they're going to be like when they get older? You know, you get participation award. And then you got these schools, these professors, a lot of them haven't been out in the real world, and they only teach them one side, liberal viewpoint. Like in the 50s, they mainly were in the conservative viewpoint, now liberals. In about 20, 30 years, it's going to go back to the conservative viewpoint. You know why? Because that's just how it is. Remember baby boomers. They were the hippies and all this. They were into all this drugs and all that stuff. Then came my generation, Generation X. And we used to make fun of them. Big old-fashioned and old and, you know, uptight and all that stuff. And that's exactly what's going to happen to millennials. Their children and grandchildren are going to do and say the same things to them. It's going to be worse for them than with baby boomers. See, between baby boomers and Generation X, we have what was called the generation gap. You know, the two generations could not communicate, have nothing, you know, in common. You know, because the baby boomers were extremely liberal. They were basically Generation Y or Millennial Light, a lighter version of the Millennials. Because at least the baby boomers had something to protest, the Vietnam War. Okay, they took it. Some of them took it too far with the spitting and everything, and that's what they're remembered for. Now you got the millennials. They spit on people. They'll throw urine at people. They get violent, and not all of them. Now I'm not saying all of them. They can't stand other people's viewpoints, but their own. They will not learn other people's viewpoints. You can't really talk to them if your views different than them. They will not listen. And you know what's going to happen, but you can't just say, oh, they're the worst generation ever, or they're just a bad generation. No generation is worse than any other, and there's nothing really, everybody thinks that the next generation is worse and their generation was the best, when in fact Generation X, my generation, was the best ever. But, you know, they're going to get it from their children and grandchildren, okay? And 20, 30 years from now, the millennials are going to be a joke. A lot of them are going to be considered like a joke. People are going to be making fun of them, how weak they were, how, you know, they had their safe spaces and trigger words and all this stuff. Oh man, they're going to get it by their children and grandchildren. They're going to get it up the yin-yang. I mean, they're going to get nailed for that. And you know it, they are. Do we feel sorry for them? No. Don't feel sorry for anyone for having to go through that. Why should we? You know, my generation, we were the slacker generation. You remember? We were slackers and loser generation. We were the losers. Well, sorry, millennials. You're going to get it now, and your children and grandchildren are going to give it to you, and you're going to be, you know, saying things about them. And if you really want to see how it was, and let's just hope we don't get another Ronald Reagan or another Obama. I know some of you like Obama, but please read up on him. Read his books and read what he said. Stuff. And those of you that like Reagan, again, same thing. Read up on the guy, okay? And Clinton, I'm not going to say anything about the Clintons because a lot of times people go up against somebody and end up dead, so be a little careful about that. Just kidding. Maybe. Thanks. Feel free to like, subscribe. Feel free to, you know, watch any of my other videos. Thanks.